Alright, this meme is several weeks old at this point, so it's probably dead. But I wanted to talk about this because the only other time a meme had such a profound impact on me was when I saw this picture. A couple of days ago, I went to the gym for a deadlift session, like I've been doing every week for the past year and a half. But before this particular session, I kind of hesitated. Maybe it was because I started a few hours behind schedule. Before my first set, I just sat on a bench and thought to myself, why am I even doing this? What's the point? I mean, these muscles will eventually waste away and turn into dust. I'm going to die one day, and all of the work I put in now won't matter in 10,000 years. I don't think anyone even cares about whether I'm shredded or not anyway. You know, thoughts like that. Shadow demons came out of the woodwork and started whispering in the back of my skull. And they asked me, why not just give up? What's the purpose of all this? My thoughts drifted towards college. Why am I sacrificing so much time and money for a degree I don't care about? Isn't all of this just absurd? Then I remembered the 2-week-old Roblox Sisyphus meme that I saw on my YouTube recommendations, and I was like, damn. That guy is literally me. Jokes aside, why don't we just give up? That question has been stuck in my head ever since that workout, and I wanted to try answering it for myself. Okay, let's assume that there is no inherent meaning to life, but we are conscious and autonomous, and we have the ability to choose how to respond to that realization. Why do I play video games even though I know that the save file is going to get deleted one day? Why do I wake up each day if I'm just going to close my eyes later? Why does Sisyphus continue to roll that boulder even though he knows that it will never reach the top? Is the boulder worth rolling? Why doesn't he give up? Well, to what degree is giving up a solution for Sisyphus's dilemma? Albert Camus developed the idea of absurdism, the idea that the search for meaning and purpose in life is futile because the universe is inherently irrational. The tension between human tendency to seek meaning and the lack of any true meaning in life is called the absurd. His essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, explores that idea and concludes that there is no greater meaning in life other than the meaning we find ourselves. Does life need intrinsic meaning to be lived? We still do many things even though they don't really have an intrinsic meaning. We still eat, drink, watch movies and YouTube, hang out with friends, even though, continuing with this train of thought on absurdism, all of those activities are equally meaningless. We can give up and stop rolling the boulder. But then, why would you stop? Doing nothing is as meaningless as doing something, but the former is significantly more boring. Whatever is meaningless is not necessarily also devoid of joy. It would be a mistake to conclude that life is not worth living. Sisyphus is condemned to forever push a boulder up a hill, and as the boulder nears the summit, it will roll back down, forcing Sisyphus back to the beginning and begin the task anew. Camus writes, Sisyphus knows the whole extent of his wretched condition. The lucidity that was to constitute his torture at the same time crowns his victory. There is no fate that cannot be surmounted by scorn. If the descent is thus sometimes performed in sorrow, it can also take place in joy. Sisyphus makes the choice here to start again, and through that choice becomes master of his fate. Yes, there is no point in futile suffering, but struggle and responsibility will fill the heart and give us a personal sense of purpose, while inaction cannot. Our personal revolt against the absurdity of life gives it its value. We are alive, so we have freedom of action. There are two choices, either to give up or to continue pushing our boulder. To rebel against the meaninglessness of life is to assign meaning to our everyday struggles, and to be happy while doing so. No matter your beliefs, you will still have the same set number of years to live. The quality of those years will be determined by your mindset. You can spend your days in despair, without emotion, without depth, without passion. Or you can choose to live each day to its maximum, to be lucid and conscious of your experiences of each day. Every passing day would still be fundamentally the same, and the absurd would still be present, but your enjoyment of life will be decided by you. I don't suggest living in hedonism and wild abandon. Sure, living like that would be fun in the short term, but let's go back to the argument of the absurd. What is the point of dedicating yourself to something that is just as meaningless as everything else? As Camus put it, the absurd does not recommend crime, but it restores to remorse its futility. Likewise, if all experiences are indifferent, that if duty is as legitimate as any other, one can be virtuous through a whim. I'll ask you this. Is being led by your urges and self-indulgence really true freedom? It's more like being enslaved to one's impulses, or being controlled by a third party like a puppet on a string. Being buffeted by waves on the seas of dopamine. At the end of the day, you're the one who has full control over your life. You're the one making the choices, and whether you keep going or give up is equally valid. The best choice is whichever one you deem to be personally fulfilling. So, did I decide to skip that workout? No. I went ahead and absolutely crushed it. I continued rolling my boulder, even though I know that it will eventually tumble all the way back down. But I didn't really care about that. The point is, I find it incredibly fun to lift heavy metal circles and put them back down again. And that's what really matters to me. Alright, I'm gonna head out. See you around.